Do you know this situation when you're in a hardware store and you find some sort of container and you think to yourself, I can build something in that? No? It's just me then. Okay. Well, this is how a few months ago I came across this glass container in the deco department of my local hardware store. I didn't have any particular vision what to do with it, but I knew I needed to have it. So it was a few weeks later that I went out for a small hike in the nearby mountain range to get some inspiration. And the different types of forests that I experienced there were really amazing. At first I walked through a birch forest that was interlaced with small streams along the path. The streams were covered with lush green sphagnum moss. Just a few steps up the hill, the environment changed into a light beech forest. On top of the small mountain, the trees got really sparse and a more rocky landscape opened up. Just to turn into a dense and moody spruce first with bog plants on the ground. The floor of the forest was covered with cones and needles. Small clearings opened up between the trees, and the swampy ground was covered with different types of moss. All of that I could experience on only about 5 kilometers of walking distance with a height difference of approximately 350 meters. I collected some twigs and stones along the way to use them as hardscape in my setup. I went with Pumice granulate as a drainage layer with a window screen on top as a separator. As substrate I used a peat-based standard carnivore mix which also contains some perlite. I didn't bother too much with it since the substrate would be covered up in the final setup anyway. I laid down the glass and started to fit pieces of a birch branch that I cut to length before. After I found a configuration that I liked, I removed the birch pieces, kept them in order and started to glue them to the glass using my trusty hot glue gun. Then I filled in the pumice and covered it with a window screen. Adding a layer of charcoal between the false bottom and the substrate is best practice and helps to keep the enclosure healthy. I then added the hardscape elements and kept topping off behind them with more substrate. Plant-wise, I did not stay true to the original biotope and went with Drosera capensis, Utricularia sandersonii and Pinguicula vesa. And of course, some Sphagnum moss to round it off. And this is the final product sitting on my shelf. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and consider subscribing. See you next time. Bye bye.